ones I've ever seen.
You could always get a new one, you know?
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not
The way to Barren Light is clear. Get moving.
You're not errant vanguardsman.
The bristlebacks.
I will move only when the captain
When I've
says.
cleared out all the bristlebacks, which I have.
They're okay.
Captain's orders. But breathing.
So they're okay.
Waiting up ahead. Banged up, but breathing. And waiting up ahead for
I
you.
was supposed to have 3 escorts. But I was supposed to have 3 escorts.
I'm off to Barren Light, Wadis. Like Aloy said, Captain's orders. You can stay here.
Abandoned to the riffraff? I think not.
Guess you're coming with me then. See you there, Aloy.
Well, now that that's done, the embassy can finally get underway. I'll be able to track down. If I can get through it, I'll be able to track down Sylens. Hades. Maybe even a Gaia backup. Guess I could head straight for Barren Light. Or poke around the Daunt some more first. And maybe take Petra up on that drink.
So, here we are.
Give that tub a stir. We've got standards to maintain.
Yes, Brewmaster.
this old shop and tripped over one of the stupid wires.
Flame!
Come for that beer after all, eh? Here. Come for that beer after all, eh? Here. Sit down. Get a pint in her hand.
Since when do I do what's expected?
Wasn't expecting you to swing by.
Since when do I do what's expected?
There's that spark. Fire and spit.
Fire and spit. Fire and spit.
That's a blast from the bellows. Won't fix the forge.
That's a
but at
blast
least I
from
can
the
forget about my
bellows.
troubles for a while.
Won't fix the forge, but at least I can forget about my troubles for a while.
Like what?
Well, things aren't as bad since you got this place running again. But we still got Olvin grating the gears about his concession decree.
If you don't put that down, I'll come over there and show you how that game ends.
Right now, I'm just worried about
Anyway.
those refugees out from Sunfall.
Right now, I'm just worried about those refugees out from Sunfall. To come all this way enduring Forge knows
What are
what.
they doing in the Daunt? Shadow Carja refugees.
Home, I gather.
What are they doing in the Daunt?
Looking for a new home, I gather. They're camped out by an old trailhead, southwest of here. And therein lies the problem. A stormbird crashed up on the cliffs last week, and Talon Cleanbrokers had his eye on the salvage ever since. But the refugees have barred entrance. Mustn't interrupt their sun-scorched ritual. Something about finding a twilight path.
I've never heard them talk about that before.
Yeah, well, these particular Shadow Karja are an odd bunch. But overall, they're peaceful folk. Not that it matters to Talland. He'll crack some heads to get to that salvage. Maybe you could swing by. Convince him to set up camp somewhere else?
So about Olvend.
Around here, everything's about
So about Olvend.
Around here, everything's about Olvend.
How'd he end up in charge?
He got here early, like a squirrel smelling a fat nut. He knew rebuilding Barren Light would need stone and timber. So he jangled purses all over Mainspring, getting investors to front claims on anything in the Daunt that might be worth a damn. Thing is, all the bankers back home know that this is Karja land, and the Sun King can revoke those claims at any time. That's why he's desperate for the magistrate to sign off on a concession decree.
This concession decree. What is it exactly? This concession decree. What is it exactly? And how would it help Olvend?
It's pig diddle, that's what.
A writ that would put all Osram claims in the Daunt under Osram law, even though they're on Karja land. It would mean that any existing ore, stone, and timber claims couldn't be revoked by the Karja. No more risk, no more hesitation for investors back in the claim to pour in the shards and expand their business. And since Olvend has a stake in all those claims, it would make him richer than a scrapper in a junk heap. Not to mention Chainscrape would become an Osram municipality, so he could buy enough votes to call himself an elderman. He's a sly old badger, I'll give him that. Figures if he keeps up the pressure, eventually the magistrate will sign.
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big
I thought you'd be back in Freeheap.
Well, after the big battle at Meridian, I went back, but realized it was running smooth. Didn't need me. Heard about the rebuilding out at Barren Light. Figured they could use another hammer. Been scraping by ever since.
You could always leave.
And go back east? Nah. I ain't one to leave a lit forge. Besides, someone's gotta be a squeaky wheel for the workers around here.
What else can you tell me about the Shadow Karja refugees?
What else can you tell me about the Shadow Karja refugees?
Well, they don't call themselves Shadow Karja for one. At least, not anymore. They're some other brand of sun crazed. But whatever side of the sun they're on, they're peaceful through and through. Don't seem to want for nothing except a place to live, pray, and just enough food to keep from starving.
So they're just camped outside by a trail, blocking entry to a wrecked Stormbird, waiting for what exactly?
Don't rightly know, but I'll tell you this. Should they ever wise up and salvage it, a Stormbird heart is worth a lot. And if they get there first, then by Osram law, it's theirs. Not that Tolan Cleanbrokers ever lost sleep over any law breaking.
Who is this Tolland Cleanbroker?
Just some chuff-huffing
Who is this
pondsman.
tall
Got a
and
shop
clean
here in
broker?
town. Just some chuff-huffing pondsman. Got a shop here in town. Lived in Chain Scrape since there was a Chain Scrape. He and Ulvin go back a ways. Like a pair of coals and a campfire, those two.
So Tolland works for Ulvin?
Ulvin might think so, but Tolland scrapes up his own scams. And he ain't the type to let a few refugees get between him and Stormbird salvage.
So the bristlebacks in the Daunt. So the bristlebacks in the Daunt. Where did they come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly
Where did they
knows.
come from?
That's the thing. No one rightly knows. They just showed up one day, rampaging around the valley like they exploded out of a forge. Lost some good people. But bless the bellows, you cleared them out and got this place working again. That put a dent in Ulvin's plans. Now, if only there was some way to smash them all together and run them out of town.
But how could bristlebacks in the Daunt help Ulvin?
2 words. Concession decree. Since no one knows where the bristlebacks came from, Ulvin has taken to blaming the Karja for him. He's hoping to dig up enough old resentments to get a strike going until the concession's signed. This is just his latest attempt. He's been trying to rile up the workers since the day he rolled into town.
And people actually believe him?
Lots of folks suffered at the hands of the Mad King during the Red Raids. Give him half a reason, they'll blame the Karja for anything.
Damn Karja slavers.
I'll come up that way. I'll talk to the refugees. I'll come up that way. I'll talk to the refugees. Try to convince them to move.
Much appreciated. They have it rough. Don't need Tolland making it rougher.
Petra said Tolland has a shop here in Chainscrape. Petra said Tolland has a shop here in Chainscrape. I could have a word with him
Ray.
first.
Fancy a game of strike? What's it take to get a drink around here? Better get my
Tell me I'm... Seeing things. Is that the same? Seeing things. Is that the same?
I'm sorry, I'll be right with you.
I'm saying it's overkill. Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying it's overkill.
It's a weapon! Kill is the point.
Not if it blows the user's arm off! Oh, just stop talking.
Where are we? You look like someone who's always searching for a new weapon. Am I right?
Actually,
I am with a customer. But you're just nuts. I am with a customer.
I'm not a customer.
I got it! Triple the powder. It'll blow a Strider sky high. Ba-boom. One shot kill. Guaranteed. Then you are in the right place
maybe
at
I
the
am.
right time. Then you are in the right place at the right time, Red.
How would you like to be the proud owner of the world's first machine-enhanced,
Explosive, done in one, machine wrecking, yet perfectly safe, javelin thrower?
Are you two from around here?
Nah, the claim.
Are you two from around here?
Nah, the claim. Dad sent us out west in search of some unknown opportunity. Said we'll know it when we see it.
Sounds like you had other ideas.
Let's just say that opening another trading post for my parents isn't how I want to make my mark in this world. I imagine traveling alone must be nice. I imagine traveling alone must be nice.
So she's your partner?
my apprentice,
So she's your partner?
my apprentice,
And my sister. She's why we're out here. There was an incident. Another incident.
Involving explosives?
Ba-boom! And Dad's precious homebrew. He shipped us out the next day.
Huh. Tell me more about this weapon of yours. Tell me more about this weapon of yours.
Saw a scroll when I was a kid by some Karja scholar who wandered out west. Had a scary drawing of a Tenakth warrior hunting with a kind of javelin thrower. Effective? Yes. Basic? Undoubtedly. But Coming out here made me remember it, and I am on the brink of vastly improving the tool's archaic design.
Whereas I will perfect it.
I can use machine parts to enhance the user's throw, increase the projectile's velocity. Well, Boomer here is adamant that enhancing the projectile is better, namely with explosive tips.
Boomsticks.
Why not both?
Could work. That could work. There's one small snag. I need the parts to make the first working model.
Intact. Well, for starters, I'll need charger horns. Intact.
Yeah, that. Just be sure to shoot them off before the machine goes down. Otherwise, they break. But the real innovation, keep it to yourself,
There's a mean one
is a fang horn rib.
There's a mean one east of here. Blow it sky high.
Boomer! You get him for me. It's yours. My treat.
You have a deal.
Sister! Over here! Sister! Over here!
We'll talk soon. Bit busy now, but we'll talk soon.
Say hi to your sister for me.
Drink. Or two, actually.
Look at her. A machine hunter, to be sure.
Even the Savior needs some battle.
You wanted
And
to
even the
speak-
Savior needs some battle. Well, you know better
You
than
wanted to
anyone
speak
it's
to
a
me?
dangerous world out there. Well, you know better than anyone it's a dangerous world out there. And not just against machines. Here's my training pit. Name's Older. This here's my training pit. Best place to practice close combat this side of the Forbidden West. Say, I wonder who'd win in a fight. You, the Savior of Meridian, Champion of the East, or the Enduring, Master of the West.
Who?
The Enduring, a legendary Tanakh fighter, the Master of Masters. I've heard the Tanakh have training pits just like this one. It's how the warriors get so fierce, see? And only the very best from the pits get to train with the Enduring.
So, to find the Enduring, I should look for these training pits if I'm ever out that way?
You'll have to go far if you do. The Tanakh are split into 3 clans. 3 clans, 3 capitals, 3 training pits. My guess is you'd have to beat all of them if you want to train with the Enduring. If the Tanakh don't kill you on sight, that is. But that's a far spark in the wind. As for right now, I also offer challenges to test your fighting skill.
Who would I be fighting exactly? You?
Well, I know you're the Savior and all, but you have to beat all the others first to challenge me. Rules are rules. We only use dual blades and practice arrows, mind. These drunken fools will run themselves through otherwise. You'll have to leave everything but your spear and practice arrows at the gate. But I'll look after your gear, not to worry. So, what do you say?
I might be.
Up for some training?
I might be.
That's what I like to hear.
But I thought my day could be.
Damn good cure you got there, Red.
I got nothing to tell you.
I wrestled a snap mode.
Do you
Yes,
spit in the
I
fire?
did.
'Cause
Don't
the
pull that
fire
face
makes
up.
you spit. Walk it up, huh?
Anyone see where I put my drink?
What?
Anyone see where I put my drink? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, there it is.
Yeah!
Yes!
Some attacks are fast. Some attacks are fast, but easily blocked. So learn to combine them with other attacks. Heavy attacks break weapon blocks and do more damage. But they're slow, so your opponents might counterattack. Power attacks smash weapon blocks to really hammer an enemy with damage. But they're slow and leave you vulnerable, so pick your moment. Spear of yours seems to energize after attacks. I think landing heavy attacks or combinations will energize it faster. Now to use that energy, try attacking your enemy. See if you can energize them.
If they paid me enough. Sharp as ever. Nice to see you too.
No, a light attack will energize your enemy. Hit them with any heavy attack.
You did it!
That spear of yours seems to energize after attacks. That spear of yours seems to energize after attacks. I think landing heavy attacks or combinations will energize it faster. Now to use that energy, try attacking your enemy. See if you can energize them. No, a light attack won't energize your enemy. Hit them with any heavy attack. Savior of Meridian wins! The Savior of Meridian wins! You think your spear can deal with that armor? Use attacks to energize your spear. Then hit your opponent with a heavy or power attack to blast their armor.
Don't you think nails right in your ears?
Yeah.
That energy doesn't last forever.
Busy now, but we'll talk soon.
Keep energizing. That spear can give you the edge in battle. Keep energizing it and then your enemies. Triggering those energy blasts should help you vanquish your opponents.
For me.
I could get around faster if I find a charger to override. I could get around faster if I find a charger to override. I don't need a machine there. Freeze that machine. Boomer said that Fanghorn should be nearby. There's the Fanghorn. Gonna have to take it down to get its rib. Come on, come on! Come on, come on! Down it goes. Should be able to harvest the turbine. Got the fanghorn rib, now I just need the charger horns. I can get data to override machines from cauldrons. Just need to find them. Save these for when I need it. Ready for anything now. I can get it from my stash later. I should walk. That's the one there's a machine stomping around in there.
Now that's not.
That's you. Machine hunter that bailed out the Karja. That's you. The machine hunter that bailed out the Karja.
Never heard it put that way before.
What do you want?
Heard you've been hassling refugees up by the cliffs.
Yeah, well, you heard wrong. There's salvage up there. A Stormbird. Nailed him myself with the harpoon here in town. Not an easy shot if I do say so myself. It clipped its wing. And it crashed into the old tower up there. Killed it quick. So if anyone's hassling anyone, it's the Shadow Karja filth that's blocking the way up to my claim.
And you're ready to crack some skulls to get to it?
No need. It's a raggedy bunch.
We'll see.
Probably all starved before I have to lift a finger.
We'll see about that.
Oh yeah, we will, won't we? Now shop's closed to Karja lovers. On your blasted way.
Ulvin must be scared.
You look like someone in need of You look like someone in need of new armor.
It's always open.
What? Aloy, please, have a seat.
All right, let's start off simple. The Tanakh like to say that Machine Strike is a game of pure strategy. We each get a set of pieces. Each piece represents a kind of machine, and each machine is worth a different number of victory points. And to win the game, you'll need to gain 7 victory points by destroying the opponent's machines. It can be tricky remembering the details of every machine, so we use these notes to keep track of them. You see that number on the top right corner? That there's how many victory points you'll get for destroying that machine. Notes also tell you how far a piece can move, how powerful their attacks are, the distance they can strike from, and of course, their health. Okay, that's enough for now. Let's just play. I'll explain the rest as we go. I own the board, so I get to choose who goes first. Since this is your first time, I'll let you go. Usually you get to choose which pieces to set on the board, but this will do for now. Pick up that machine piece to your right, and move it forward. Remember, each machine can only move a certain distance. Take a look at your notes if you need a reminder. Now, you get to move 2 machines. Easy enough, huh? Now, you get to move 2 machines each round. So go ahead and pick a second machine. Perfect. There's not much else to do for now, so just end your turn. We're forging onwards. Let me move my pieces here. And we're back to you. This time, why don't you try attacking one of my pieces? Try with that machine on your right first. Now move the piece close enough to attack. When performing an attack, you'll be testing your machine's combat power against the opponent's. A machine's combat power is a combination of the terrain your machine is standing on and its own attack power. This board only has grassland terrain, which has no effect on a machine's combat power. And your current machine has 2 points of attack power. So in total, your machine's combat power equals 2 points. Since my machine isn't the one attacking, it has 0 points of attack power. And just like your machine, it's not affected by grassland terrain. So right now, the difference in combat power between the 2 machines is 2 points. This means your machine can do 2 points of damage to my machine. Did you get all that? Knew you were a smart one. Finish up by attacking my machine. Not pulling any punches, huh? Now grab that second machine of yours. See how your machine can't move close enough to attack mine? You can make your machine sprint. That lets it move 1 space further. Try it out. Downside to sprinting is that your machine can no longer attack. Now, some players like to take a risk and overcharge their machine in cases like this. Overcharging lets you attack after a sprint, but it will damage your machine's health by 2 points. So use at your own discretion. Let's try doing that now so you can see what I mean. That's about it for your turn then. I'll let you in on a neat trick. That machine of yours, the one closest to me, grab a hold of it. Same as in the wilds. Machines have both armored points and weak points. You can see them marked on the pieces. Blue shows where their armor is thickest. Hit them there and you'll do some damage, but not a lot. Now, red shows the machine's weak points. Hit those and you'll deal a mighty blow. Here, let me show you. Rotate that piece so your machine faces mine. Now let that machine have it. Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory point. Off the board she goes, and there's your first victory points. You don't have 7 of them yet, so let's keep going. Your machine attacked mine, but hasn't moved yet. Go ahead and move downwards towards my remaining piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. You've already attacked a machine and moved your piece. But if you overcharge your machine, you can attack a second time. And by the look of your machine's health, you'd be sacrificing your piece to defeat mine. But sometimes that can be a good thing. Overcharge your machine to attack mine a second time, and I'll show you what I mean. Ain't that a thrill? Now, ain't that a thrill? Now, because your machine was knocked out at the same time as mine, we both get the victory points our machines are worth. Good news is, since you're the one attacking, you're going to receive your victory points before I do. Which means you can reach the coveted 7 victory points first. That's why sometimes losing a piece can be the best way to end a game in your favor. Now, you'll notice you didn't get quite up to 7 victory points this time, but you did destroy all my pieces. That means you're the winner! That wasn't so hard, was it? Just remember to always check for the best terrain to attack from. You'd be surprised the advantage you can gain over an opponent like that. I know it saved my behind in a game or two.
I'll try and remember that.
Oh, before I forget, these are all my spare pieces. I want the Savior of Meridian to have them. It's a small set to be sure, but it should be enough to get you in on any strike games you find out there. You might even fancy looking out for them strike carvers. They've got all kinds of unique pieces that can turn a game in your favor, though they'll need the right materials to craft you one. Or you might find them in the wilds if you're lucky. You know, I've lost my fair share of pieces after a night of machine hunting or brew hopping. No need to thank me. Always a pleasure to help out new strike players. If you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. If you feel like playing a real game, I've got plenty of other boards. I could even teach you a few more tricks if you're up for it.
Think about it. Thanks. I'll think about it.
I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. I knew I'd make a strike player out of you yet. How about this time I tell you how to use a board's terrain to your advantage? This one's got all the different terrains you can encounter in a game of Strike. Knowing when and how to use them can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Terrain mainly affects your machine's combat power. As you know, when fighting an opponent's machine, you compare its combat power to yours. The higher your machine's combat power, the more damage you can do. So finding the right terrain is an essential strategy for overpowering your opponent. Here, I'll show you. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machine. Grab that piece to your left and move to attack my machine. Now let's take a look at your machine's combat power. Combat power is the sum of a machine's attack power and the value of the terrain it's standing on. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's also standing on forest terrain with a value of 1 point. Add those together, and your machine has 3 points of combat power. My machine is standing on grassland terrain with a value of 0 points. It's also not attacking, which means their attack points aren't in play. So my combat power is 0. 3 points. This means your machine can do 3 points of damage. Go ahead and test it out. There you go. Now, choosing the right terrain
There you go.
just improve your offense. Now, choosing the right terrain doesn't just improve your offense. It can also help defend your machines from attack. Grab your other piece and place it in front of my second machine. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points. Since your machine is attacking, it's using its 2 points of attack power. It's standing on grassland terrain. This terrain has a value of 0. This means your machine's combat power adds up to 2 points. My machine can't use their attack power since they're defending their position. But they have the higher ground. They're standing on forest terrain, which is worth 1 point. This means my combat power adds up to 1 point. Now, the front of my machine is colored blue. This means that the spot you're about to attack has armor protecting it, which means you'll see that you won't be able to do any damage. Whenever you're unable to top an opponent's combat power, you can still choose to attack and break their machine's defenses instead. Go ahead, try it out and see what happens. See? When you break a machine's defenses, you can knock it backwards. Sure, both our machines will receive 1 point of damage, but knocking my machine off that terrain makes it more vulnerable to attacks. Not only that, if my machine had been blocked from moving backwards, it would have received an extra point of damage. And if my machine had been blocked by another one of my pieces, that machine would have received damage as well. That's why breaking a machine's defenses is a great way to deal damage to several pieces at once. Useful, right? Okay, now go ahead and end your turn. There's still one more thing I want to show you. All right, as we've seen, the higher the terrain, the more it'll add to your machine's combat power. However, there are 2 other terrains that work a little differently. This is what we call a chasm. Only flying machines can be placed on those. But it'll take away 2 combat points if you do, so be wary. This is marsh terrain. Landing on it will take away 1 combat power point from most machines. It'll also keep your machine from moving for the rest of the turn. Here, let me show you. Grab that machine on your left. See? All you can do now is wait for your next turn to move. Again. Or you can overcharge your machine to get out of there. You can still attack any nearby enemies so you're not completely helpless. Well, I think that's enough yammering for me for now. Promise it'll all come in handy next time you play. Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit Here for more tips? Why don't I tell you a bit more about the pieces we used to play? In a normal game, you get to choose which machines you place on the board. Each one is worth a certain number of setup points, and you can spend up to 10 assembling your army. Knowing what each machine brings to the game and building an army that matches your strategy is the key to becoming a machine strike master. When assembling your army, there are a few things to keep in mind. First and foremost, you can never have more than 4 of the same machine on the board at the same time. With that in mind, most players would choose machines based on how far they can move or how much attack power they have. But a real strike player will be looking at a machine's type and skills. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Pick up that machine on your left. All right, let's talk about the different ways in which a machine attacks its opponents. In other words, its machine type. If you look at your notes, you'll see this machine here is a melee type. You can also tell by the shape of the base the piece stands on. A melee type machine attacks the first enemy within range and no one else. We've seen this plenty of times, so just move that piece forward so I can show you some more stuff. Great, now grab your other machine. Looks like we've got ourselves a gunner type machine here. This means they'll only hit the farthest enemy in their attack range. Let's move that machine forward and end your turn so we can take a look at the rest of the pieces. Let's go with this piece first. This is a ram type machine. Attack an enemy with it and it'll push the piece backwards. Like this. See, now my machine has taken over your machine spot on the board. This is a great way to take the advantage away from your opponent if they have the higher ground. Looks like we have one more piece to look at. This is a beauty of a piece. Now this is a beauty of a piece, a dash type machine. When it attacks, it'll move to the end of its attack range and damage every machine in its path, including your own. So make sure you take a good look at the board before you send it off to the races. You should also make sure it's able to finish its attack on an empty spot. Otherwise, you won't be able to attack at all. Here, I'll show you. Look, it even rotated your piece. A nifty little piece you'll definitely want in your set. If you look at your notes, you'll notice this particular machine has one of the skills I mentioned before. There's quite a few of those, and we haven't even looked at all the machine types yet. But I'm pretty sure you've got more important things to do, so I made you a list. It's got all the tips and tricks we talked about, too. I think that about does it for now, so if you want to play a real game, just let me know. Let's play. My turn. Your turn. Your turn. One piece left. That sure dampens the forge. Time to get serious. Your move, Red. Your move, Red. Armor is a machine's best defense. Armor is a machine's best defense. You got me, fair and square. You got me, fair and square. Let's do this. Let's do this. Board's all yours. Board's all yours. Okay, let's see. That's it for me. That's it for me. Come up. Yes! Yes! One less piece on the board. One less piece on the board. You're up, Red. You're up, Red. Well, that's done now. Time to make my move. Knocked right off the board. Knocked right off the board. Now that was a smart move. Now that was a smart move. Off the board he goes. Off the board he goes. Okay, let's see. Looks like you're down to one piece. Looks like you're down to one piece. Guess luck's not on your side today, Red. Guess luck's not on your side today, Red. I'll see you later, Aloy. I'll see you later, Aloy.
I'm gonna get down. This isn't a place for a machine. Using fire against that. good. Easy there. Scroungers. Native said I could find a little panel in one of their stockpiles. to see me? Through the scrap piles for a metal panel. Pack's full, but my stash has room. Pack's full, but my stash has room. No metal panel. Better check another scrap pile. I think I have everything I need from Mildev. Good thing, too. I can use a decent meal. This pigment would work well in armor. that'll keep me awake.
They knocked the girls with red raids out with half our numbers. Now that tells you something.
Stupid. How could there be an underground city in the desert?
One, don't call me stupid. And two, I don't know. I didn't put it there.
The only thing underground in the desert is
And the remains of anyone that's not buried there.
Let's hope we never meet one.
Surprising, man. Pull yourself away from your work then.
Hey, I thought you'd left by now.
Find this in my stash later. Find this in my stash later.
That whistle blew.
Hey, I thought you'd left by now.
What?
You look like someone. You look like someone. Need of new armor.
What do you think you fix this lucky?
Ah, there you are. I happen to receive another visit from Ulvin himself. He was pushy, but I stood my ground. And dare I say it, I even got my own back. Yes, I did.
I'm listening.
When I made his meal, I used 3 pinches of salt. Instead of 2.
Each journey begins with a single step, I guess. I think I have everything you asked for.
Then just as you have inspired me, let us see if I can return the favor. Time to cook.
If that was inspired.
Next time you want the best provisions, you know where to find me. And your next order of any dish will be on the house.
Thanks. And don't forget to stand up for yourself.
Funny you should say that. As it happens, I'm already cooking up my next portion of resistance. Hope to see you again.
might be a good idea to stock up on some food before I head back out. See what else Cody's cooking up.
Back for that free meal? Go on, peruse my menu. Oh, this'll really boil their broth. I'll add a sprinkle of chili to their desserts. How perverse.